tell you what we're doing. We're going to the hospital. We're testing out how long it takes to get there. When the baby comes, if I know how long it takes to get there, then I can plan out the whole thing. I got my route planned, ready to go. All we need to do is go home, pack the bag, make sure we're set. So you just don't even worry about it. Don't worry, I got this. I got this.
I wanna turn the whole thing upside down.
Being a week out, I think the thing that's most anxious for me, or I'm most anxious about, is probably when it's gonna happen. Whether I'm gonna be in the middle of the night, or at work, or out at the grocery store. Just when it's gonna happen, the anticipation.
Just getting it over with. Conversations just keep repeating, you know, hey, how's your wife? Is she still pregnant? Like, yeah, obviously, and you're looking at me. It's just, I'm just ready for the questions from everybody else to stop and just more have the question of, how's your baby doing?
I need to meet him. The pain doesn't really freak me out, at least not yet, I guess. But I'm just excited to see what he looks like and see how tall he is, like how long he is, how big he is. Because, you know, you're tall.
I hope he gets my height rather than Abby's. I don't want a short kid.
I mean, he looks like you.
But he's gonna have the Abby's eyes and nose, because everybody in Abby's family has the same like this part of their face, all not the same.
I'm excited to sleep on my stomach. I've never been a stomach sleeper, but I really want to sleep on my stomach now, since I can't, and not have to roll over or wake up to roll over.
I'd say the most frustrating thing about this pregnancy, not that I'm pregnant or anything, but I would say the car seat. The car seat in the Altima, you have to pretty much stand on it to push it all the way down, and then yank up on this belt just to get it so that kid doesn't shake anywhere when you go down the street. See him get out of that one.
I think my bag is almost fully packed. There's just little day-to-day things that I have to pack when it happens.
My side of it, I'm just more concerned that we got power to our cell phones and our tablet.
I've got a little outfit in 2 sizes, just in case if he's super long and he doesn't fit into newborn stuff. So I think everything in his bag and our bag is ready. So yeah. I got to make almost everything in the baby room. I started off wanting to buy something like a comforter or not comforter, decorations in general, like the sets that all match. But nothing really caught my eye. Couldn't find anything I liked. So I ended up going to Pinterest and probably took on way more than I should have, but it was a lot of fun.
She's become more crafty than she ever has been. I made this painting and it had a gradient from top to bottom, and she goes, what should I put on it? I'm like, I don't know, it's not my thing, you do it. And I come back like 2 hours later and she just freehand painted this owl and this tree with these leaves, and then there's these little holes poking through for the lights. I was like, dude, you just freaking, I didn't even know she could paint.
Had some old windows that Nathan broke the glass out of, and then I put in some scrapbook paper and glued on buttons in the shape of a giraffe in one box and an elephant in the other box and then a Bible verse, and then when we figure out what his name is going to be, because yes, we still don't know that, we will have his name and maybe date of birth and that kind of stuff in there. I recovered the rocking chair. That was probably one of my favorite things, just because it turned out really cool. The changing table, Nathan made that. That was really neat. That's probably also one of my favorite things in the room, just because it looks so nice and it's kind of unique to what we needed. So we went and got a bunch of baskets from Target and put those in there. So we got it stocked with diapers and wipes and blankets, all the stuff you need, I guess, for babies. So that was, because it's a very neat piece, I think. Then a mobile. Doesn't make any noise or anything, but it kind of adds to the room, gives a little something extra. And then the last piece that I'm working on right now is it's kind of a painting, but not really a painting. It's just gonna have a saying on it.
I'm really anxious to see how Bailey reacts. to the whole thing. I think she'll be fine. I guess I'm just a little worried of, I don't think she'll step on the kid, but like if we have like just the blanket out on the floor and the kid's there, I'm a little worried about her stepping on it, because I mean, she's 130 pounds of raw power. That's kind of hard to watch out for all the time. But just because that's what Great Danes are kind of known for, is being protectors, even though they're giant teddy bears if you give them a treat. So it will be kind of interesting to see how Bailey reacts to everything. Really impressed with the pregnancy is Abby's ability just to handle it all. She hasn't complained about not being able to do things. She's a really, really strong woman when it comes down to with her pain tolerance and dealers. I mean, she has a higher pain tolerance than I do. She's definitely a lot tougher than I would ever be in a situation like this. So that part's been really impressive, in seeing her deal with that.
I'm still waiting.
I'm very impatient. I just want to meet him. It'd be awesome if it happened. And everything I do, I'm like my water will break, maybe I'll have a contraction, but I've had a couple contractions, but not regular and nothing consistent, so it's kind of a tease right now.
Here she is, morning of having a contraction about every,
10 minutes or so.
10 minutes or so? This little thing's freaking out.
Come here,
She's
baby.
freaking out.
Come here. I've been up since about 3 o'clock with contractions every 20 or so minutes, and they've gotten a little closer as the morning's gone on. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Okay. On November 15th, and we are on our way to the hospital to have baby. Elevator on the way up.
Five centimeters and about 90% of face. And my water is definitely broke. So we're just hanging out to be on the monitor for about 20 minutes, and then we can get off and kind of move around. So that'll be nice.
Okay. You're like 2 hours in from being at the hospital. Give me a status update.
They're getting intense. They're lower, I think. I don't know, maybe it's just hitting the floor. Feels like my hips are kind of doing this every time I have a contraction. They were kind of like one really intense one, and then I'd have an easier one, but now they're kind of leveling all out, so they're all pretty intense. I'm not too anxious right now. I'm actually pretty calm. I feel calm. I think it helps that you prayed for us before we walked in. Thank you.
Morning after the baby. How you feeling, Eb?
Pretty good.
Sore?
A little bit, not as much as I thought I'd be. I thought I'd be like full body sore, but not too bad.
Are you pretty happy about it?
I think so. Got to the hospital around 6:30ish, and then things started to get intense, and by like 3 o'clock we were stuck at 7 centimeters, and so they had me finally talked me into getting out of the tub and moving around. And once we did that, things started to really progress, and at 5:18 we had Mr. Reed. He came into our world.
Spec sheet.
He was 9.38 pounds, 21 inches long, and really happy baby.
in the bed with me, my Juliana, baby cheese.
Today's going home day with baby Reed. We're going home on a Saturday. Our second night last night went pretty well. We had probably let him sleep too long for the second night, but he did okay. Right now he's wide awake. Abby's in pretty good spirits. She seems pretty uplifted about everything. She's feeling better. I think the hardest thing right now is going to be trying to figure out what our new norm is when we go home, once all the hospital people are away, and it's just me and Abby, trying to figure out what we're going to do. I know that's what I'm freaking out about the most, is knowing that we have this kid that we have to now take care of for the rest of our lives, and figure out how we're going to do it. There's really no instruction manual.
Not having, if I need help, not having it right there. The people that know exactly what to do, you know. I know you're going to be very helpful, and that's going to be awesome, but it's just a little bit of anxiousness about being on our own. But I think we got this. We're a pretty good team.
In the end, the labor was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. So much time was spent on getting up to the actual birth, when in reality, it's only the start. Now this next part, now that's the real experience.